Hey guys, and welcome back. So this is another episode in the series on how to make some gold or money in Guild Wars, improving your finances just a little bit. Firstly, in this video we're going to look at gathering as well as world bosses. So firstly, gathering, it's very quick, very easy, okay? For gathering you need to have the correct level tool, okay? So if you're in a low level area, you can use a copper or any other low level tool to gather the item. If you're in a high level area, you need to use a higher level gathering tool, okay? You can always gather lower tier items with a high tier gathering tool, but you cannot gather high tier items with a low tier gathering tool, okay? Now, basically, gathering is running around collecting ores, wood, and random vegetable and fruit-like materials off the ground. Now, this does give experience, but it does not give a lot of experience. You can basically look at gathering in two ways. You can either gather and use what you've gathered to fill your store in your bank, and when you start the game you have a cap of 250 of each item, so basically one stack. If you've done that, you can sell the rest, or I know people who just sell the gathered items straight up, or the gathered materials straight up, and look for the profit directly. Okay, what I personally like to do is I like to fill up my store first and then sell the extras I get, or because then later you can use the items that you have actually collected for crafting, and this does help quite a lot later. Basically, the thing with gathering is if you run past anything, if you run past the ore, that would help. If you run past wood or any form of gathering thing, and it is not going to take you a lot of time out of your route running on your quest here at the moment, then go gather it. Because if it's 1 silver, if it's 10 silver, it doesn't matter. If you keep on doing it, then after a while the 1 silver will start building up. If you just run past the mithril, let's say mithril vein, it's maybe 20 copper for the thing, it doesn't matter. If you get in that mindset of gathering it, you might run across a om berry, and that's 4 silver per fruit. So with gathering, run around, gather everything. If it's not taking you a while out of your distance, out of your journey, always just gather it immediately, okay? Some nice places you can look at gathering are, you can look for gathering orichalcum, that's in the Cursed Shore and Malka's Leap. It's 70 to 80 areas. You can look at platinum, it's in Sparkfly Fen, Iron Marches, Blood Tide Coast, Fireheart Rise, Timberline Falls, and Mount Maelstrom. Okay, it's a bit lower level areas, but platinum also does give quite a lot of silver when you gather it, and it's a nice way to find it because it's more openly available than orichalcum. There's not a lot of orichalcum nodes. Okay, then for ancient wood, you can look at Cursed Shore as well as Malka's Leap. And then Omnom berries as well, Cursed Shore and Malka's Leap. This is just a few gathering nodes or things you can gather that will give you a little bit more than the usual amount of money. But on the general, if you're running around, if you see a node of any sort, just gather it. If it's 20 copper, if it's 1 silver, if it's 5 silver, it doesn't matter. In the end, it'll all add up to be quite a big profit for you. And it also does help your levels quite a lot if you gather everything. Okay, now for the bigger thing, okay, world bosses. Basically, world bosses are events that happen in Guild Wars that are across the whole server that you're on. And these events occur kind of according to a timer. Okay, I'll tell you now about the timer, but basically what world bosses are, it's a massive boss, it's a big raid. It's like a raid in any other game. It's just, it happens in a timer. You don't have to look for a group, you just pitch up there, and if the boss is there, a lot of people will show up and you fight the boss, you kill him, you get rewards, and you go on. Now, basically, there is a website, Dragon Timers. I'll put a link in the description where you can see the timers as well as the areas and the nearest waypoint to all of these bosses. It's quite nice because you can also tick off if you've gotten the first kill of the day reward for this boss. It's a list of all the bosses, but I'll put a link in the description, you can check it out. Now what I mean by first kill is the first time you kill a world boss every single day, you get one rare, firstly you get a rare item or higher, so rare or exotic, and you get a champion loot bag, okay? For dragons it's more, it's at least 2 champion loot bags, if not more, because they are a little bit harder. Now, there's a range of difficulty in world bosses, okay? From Shadow Behemoth to, let's say, Triple Threat, which is just ridiculous. It's like, suicide. Okay, so, firstly, in the difficulty from the easiest to the hardest, and then later I'll do the dragons as well as the temples. Okay, normal, just normal world bosses. Difficulty. Shadow Behemoth is the easiest. Okay, it's in Queensdale. It's very easy. Just get there and you kill it. You kill a few portals. It's very easy. A random pug just does it. Then Fire Elemental in Metrica Province. This is a little bit harder, but it's still extremely easy. You might die a few times, but people will resurrect you, and most of the time you will get your gold participation. Then Frozen Moor. It's in Wayfarer Foothills. It's a little bit harder, but once again, it's still really easy. You will die a few times, but it's okay. Jungle Worm in Caledon Forest is still very easy. It has been buffed quite a bit, because it also... in the beginning, it was the easiest thing ever. You just kind of sneezed on him and he died. But now Jungle Worm is quite a bit harder, but it's still quite easy, and it's easily doable if people just kind of start working together. Okay. Next, Tyda Covington. Tyda Covington is extremely easy to do. It just takes quite a long time because you have to break through a gate and then kill her first. Now this takes some time, but once again she is quite easy, and this happens in Bloodtide Coast. Next, Mega Destroyer in Mount Maelstrom. This is also quite easy. Just make sure to take a ranged weapon. If you do not have a ranged weapon, you will not be able to do anything because the thing is permanently in lava. So ranged weapon, very important. Then Ulgoth the Modner in the Irati Hinterlands. This is also, it's a nice boss because it has a lot of extra champions that spawn, and so a lot of champion bags, but it is once again very easy. Just take some time. Golem Mark II, Mount Maelstrom. A little bit harder. You have to dodge sometimes, get out of the way sometimes, otherwise you will die, but the waypoint is close enough that you just pretty much run to it again. Then Kaka Queen is quite a bit harder because you have a certain amount of time that you have to kill her with, and it is quite a bit harder, but still pretty easy. And that's in South Sun Cove. It's also only level 80 zone there. And then lastly, for the normal world bosses, Triple Threat, which is just absurd. Like, you can attempt it. If you find a good group, if you find a good instance, then yes, you probably will be able to kill them. But it is very hard because it's 3 worms that spawn at 3 different locations, and you have to kill all of them for the event to finish. Okay, that's in Bloodtide Coast. It is extremely hard, and that's why it has a separate achievement panel just for that. Okay, now the dragons. There's Shatterer in Bladeridge Steps, which is not really hard, but it's sometimes you struggle to get down in time because also there is a timer. But it's easy dragon to kill, quick and fast. Okay. Next, Claw of Jormag. That's the little 70 to 80 zone Frostgorge sound. Easy to die there, but once again easy enough to kill. Just have to work together. And then lastly, Tequatl, the Sunless in Sparkfly Fen. This dragon is really hard to kill, and if you want to kill the dragon, it is possible, but be at the right zone with at least, let's say, 30 minutes to spare, so that you get into the proper instance of the map, because the overflows struggle very often to kill him. Then, there are temples of Balthazar, Greneth, Lessa, Melandru, and Dwayna. These aren't hard to do, but they take quite a lot of time. They do give you quite nice rewards, but mostly if you have a lot of karma and you're new to level 80, then they're nice to get exotic weapons and exotic armor, but that's pretty much all they're used for. They're not really farmed that much because they take so much longer. Okay guys, so this has basically just been the world bosses. Now every world boss basically gives you a rare or better item, whether it be a gun, a sword, any sort of weapon or armor, or honestly a necklace or ring, accessory, anything. It is possible. Okay, rare or better. Then also this gives you a champion bag. Okay, for example, Shatterer would give you 2 champion bags. Claw of Jormag would give you 2 as well. But if you look at Jungle Worm and let's say Shadow Behemoth, they only give you 1 rare or better item and 1 champion bag. Okay, so a little bit harder. The harder world bosses are, they give you a better reward. Okay, so in the end, guys, if you look at world boss farming, I would advise you to look at the timers. I'll put the link in the description to dragon timers, where you can see when every boss spawns, as well as be able to click on a little chest that will allow you to check if you've gotten the first kill of the day's reward for that world boss. And this helps quite a bit. Now, just remember that these world bosses do take some time. They don't really take, let's say, an hour or more. but they take some time to kill. So if you want to run an entire run of all the world bosses in a day, it's going to take you some time, and you're probably going to fail once or twice if you look at people or at bosses like Tequatl and those kind of things. So yeah, guys, in this area, still keep salvaging the rarity, still keep either selling or salvaging the exotics so you can get the ectoplasms. Then the next video is going to be about the trade post flipping, which I'm excited about because that's actually the one thing I do the most, and I do enjoy that quite a lot, and I know a bunch of the people in the guild are looking forward to that one as well. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.